Hi, Tim here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm outside in the backyard and I'm going to show you how I take a block of wood similar to this and carve a little cat like that. So let's get started. So I'm starting with a block of wood. I found this little piece of pine branch while walking in a park in Oregon, actually, sometime back this summer, and I ended up making two cats. So I had to think, all right, what's a cat supposed to look like? My daughter has a couple of them, and they won't sit still long enough for me to take measurements or anything. So I use this as my model. I'm going to start with a piece of butternut and bring the ears just slightly below. This might be looked at as cheating, but I don't really care. Whatever works for doing your model. You could do one out of clay first or just start carving. So we'll put our parameters on here. This is pretty much what the cat's going to sit on. So I'm going to start out with a whittling knife. This one's made in Sweden. Actually, I'm going to do one more thing here for safety because I cut myself recently. I don't want to do that again. This is just a little finger guard that is leather and a little stretchy stuff on the back to hold it in place. And get working here. Making a stop cut here, coming in, cutting away. The one thing that's advantageous about this, having a little model like this here, is you can look at the top view of your piece. You can just turn it all different sides and take a look at it. And so I'm going to take a pencil and just kind of mark. Basically what I'm going to do is make the area that the cat is going to sit in here, like this here. Make sure that he fits within that parameter. Looks like it will. So it's all this wood here that I'm going to waste away. All this out here. So that's what I'm doing first. Not doing any detail yet. Now just doing a couple of pencil marks on here. Just give me a little bit of a reference point. Now the head is up here. So much of whittling is just completely by eye. You don't maybe. If you have to stop and measure things all the time, it makes it a bit more of a challenge, but might be a little more precise if you're unsure. And I'm not trying to make it look exactly like that toy. That just gives me some guidance so that I kind of have a general idea. So I just kind of getting the back side here. Now I'm going to cut in under the chin. I think it's going to be somewhere here. When you're doing three-dimensional carvings, you got to keep turning your piece around and around, all different angles, so that it starts to look like the profile of a cat no matter which way you turn it. Now the first knife I used was a rounded blade, which I find good for roughing out, but for this kind of whittling, for more detail, I like a straight blade. I don't want to go too far where I take his ears off here, so I'm kind of looking at it from this standpoint. I got to come in here. When in doubt, just go back and look at the model. The way I figured is if I do enough of these, I probably won't need to use a model. I'll just remember how things look. How they're supposed to look. Getting a little bit of profile of the face. I'm going to go to a detail knife now, this flux cut. I like this one a lot. Now I'm going to part in where the ears are. Looking at the top. Again, I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. I just keep taking away what needs to come away. I tend to slow down when you start getting more detail, just to pay attention to every angle. Cutting a little bit where the front paws will be. Let's take another look here. This one's got his head kind of tilted a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. The tail is going to go down. I'll cut in there for that. So the tail's just going to go straight down here somehow. Do a stop cut there. Well, the back is starting to look like it's taking shape here. Head's still a little big. I see I got to get the chin up here a little bit. And come back. This pointed detail knife here really allows you to get into tight spaces and get out without the blade getting in the way. Now I'm going to do the front legs. And come down part them just a little bit. Okay, I'm kind of defining the front paws here now. And right behind that will be the rear paws. So what my goal is here is not so much to make an exact replica of the toy by any means. It's folk art, and it's not going to be like a miniature of a finely detailed miniature. It's representative. It's just kind of a folk art. So now the rear paw seems to go in, cut in like this here. That's what I notice. So I'm cutting in here, kind of getting behind the front leg a little bit. Work on the face a little bit here. The face for me is probably the most challenging part. It's much better to take many small cuts than big ones. You need to be in complete control of your tool at all times. What I'm using here is a Beavercraft brand knife. Recently got it. Come in a kit. The one I got is a kit of 3 at different lengths. This is the shortest length. Sometimes the rounded end is good for paring like this here, trying to get the stump part of this here, get the saw marks off. I don't like it for detail work. Prefer the flat blade one, but this is good for slicing. Back to my detail knife. So define the cat tail. Anytime I'm doing something like this, I never concentrate on one area completely, because you may end up, if you carved a mouth or something like that, it may be off center by the time you get the rest of the piece done. You just don't want that to be the case. And I've done that. Carve a nose or an eye or something like that, and then it's out of balance because it's not in context with the rest of the piece. Now, I notice on these cat, the chops here it kind of comes in and then sticks out a little bit, and I haven't done that yet on this, so I got to figure out best approach here. Like I said, it's probably for me the hardest part. I'm doing kind of a quick little twist of the wrist here, and I can kind of get the little fuzzies out of here. Because I don't intend to sand it. Now the neck is looking thin enough. It's looking like a cat from behind, pretty much. Let's just see if we can get the rest of it to look like a cat. What I can tell is the nose is kind of a triangle. When I do a carving, I keep trying to do a better job the next time I do it. That's all. I don't really worry about it too much. Just keep observing and noticing and seeing where you can improve. And main thing is just having fun with it. Now the eyes seem to be a little bit back like this here. So we're going to wrap it up here. Just doing the eye detail, and one could spend considerable more time making a cat that looked more refined and all that, but the only thing I'm trying to do here is make it look like someone would say that looks like a cat. That's all I intended to do. Just define the ears here a little bit. Well, we'll wrap it up. Between these three now, this trio, I think I'm improving a little bit, and the next time I do it, I think I'll try to speed it up and do a little quicker job. But looking at it from the top, it looks pretty good. So as long as it's kind of a little bit rough around there, and besides sanding it, which I don't want to do, and usually things that are whittled, you can sand them if you want, but then you lose your tool marks, and the little fuzzy things come off over time anyway. If anything, you could burnish it with like a towel or a rag or something like that. So that's it. Butternut Kitty. Well, that's my cat video. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I know I did. And please subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you would. And we'll see you next time. Okay, sit still there. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. How do you like it? I guess he approves.